Hi, welcome back to Her Path to Success. My name is Tahara Saad, and this is all brought to you by the Arab American Women's Business Council. We're continuing our session on the steps needed to take prior to getting a microloan. And so far we've discussed step 1 and step 2. Step 1 is find your passion. If it's something that you love doing and you're going to do it every day regardless if you get paid, then you say, okay, can we turn it into a business? And if the answer to those two questions is yes, then we go on to step 2, is the logistics of actually starting up a business. And what do we need to do to get there? What are the steps that we need to take? So once we've completed those 2 tasks, we still have one more session to do before getting a microloan. And today we have joining us Carolyn Cassin from the Michigan Women's Foundation, and she's going to help us take it through it. Thank you, Carolyn.
Thanks for having me.
So we've done step 1 and we've done step 2. Now, once we've started our business, we have a business plan and we've started it up, what do we do next?
Well, this is the fun part. This is where you actually get to test out all your ideas. You get to launch. And most everyone has already launched it. They've been baking cupcakes in their kitchen. They've been taking them to their family and friends who rave over them and tell them that they're great. And maybe even they've catered some parties and people love them and they've gotten paid for it. But what I really insist that everyone do is a pilot project. I really think it's important that you go out. I say, if it's just your friends and family that have bought this product from you or this service from you, they're not objective. They love you. They're going to say that you're doing a great job no matter what. So let's go out and get some objective people on the street, an objective pilot going in a market that you've really not tapped before. So that's the most important part of all this, because this will prove to a funder, this will prove to the world that you actually have a product that people will buy. You may know who your customers are, you may have a very good idea, but let's see it in action. Let's go out there and do a pop-up store. Let's ask someone that you know in a downtown here to let you be in their company for just a weekend or during a festival or something like that. And then let's sell that product or that service. And let's make sure that everything that you've thought that in that business plan actually comes true and that people are lining up to buy your product. If they're not, you're learning something very important too. You're learning that what you thought was going to work wasn't. And this is really what separates entrepreneurs. This is what really makes a difference, because the entrepreneur who gets bad news or a customer that doesn't really want to buy it in the same quantities that they thought it would is a good entrepreneur is going to get back up the next morning, come up with an idea that will get somebody to buy it, change something in the formula or the recipe or the product, and come back at it the next day. And that really is what we're looking for. We're looking for, can you learn from either mistakes or can you learn from what your customers told you? And can you adapt to that? Because if you can't adapt to what your customers want, you're probably not going to be successful out there in the marketplace. So the pilot is really fun if you go at it saying, no matter what happens, I'm going to learn a tremendous amount about how this company is going to work.
That's very important to note. This is what really sets you apart from your competition.
Exactly.
Are you willing to adapt and change? Right. Are you willing to put yourself out there, which is very nerve-wracking, I think, for a lot of entrepreneurs.
Yes.
I think a lot of women in general are so hard on themselves.
Exactly.
And you have to recognize that no criticism is bad.
No, it's good feedback. It's
Right.
always good feedback. In fact, you want to spend more time with the people who didn't like what you were selling them than you do the people who did like it. Because if they liked it, then all you have to do is get their name and address so you can sell it to them again. but the people that didn't like your service, will have something to tell you and
Right.
something important that you need to hear, so that you don't go back and make the same mistake over and over and over again. And that's really, I think, to me, where you decide whether this, to go back to the very first segment, is maybe this should just be a hobby. Maybe you don't like it out there, trying to sell to people that really don't love your product, and you might have to modify your product. This is where you learn that, and you learn this either spurs you on, or it takes you back to saying, you know what, I think I'm just going to make those cupcakes or cookies for my family and friends. They love them, and you know, maybe I'll make a little bit of money on the side, or I know what I should do next,
Right.
and that's what we're really looking for.
Well, that's interesting to know. So once we get all those 3 steps done and we decided, we followed up with all of our critics and we found out what's wrong, what didn't they like, how can I tweak it, how can I make you happy, how can I make you then to want it. So
Right.
we've gathered up all that information and we decided, okay, yeah, this is definitely,
Right.
this is a business I want to go into. Then the next step would be,
Well, then I think you're ready to scale your business. You're really ready to launch and scale this into a real business. And so you can do that by yourself, you know, with support. You can do that with our help and getting a microloan out of it. If you can go to a bank, you should go to a bank and get some money to scale a business. Whatever it is that you need to do, then we're going to be helping you, and we'll help you at every one of those steps along the way. So you don't have to ever feel that you're in this alone, because you're not, because there are thousands and thousands of women in this state who are just like you. They want to start a business. They didn't know everything that they needed to know when they started it, but in the end, they figured it out. And we find that entrepreneurs learn more from each other sometimes than they learn from any class they could ever take. And so we form classes or places for them and opportunities for them to network and get to know each other. We hopefully are going to be doing something with your organization,
Yes.
so that people can get together and they can learn from each other and they can spur each other on. And that's how we're making more women entrepreneurs, is by doing this. It's a great cycle to get involved in.
and it's a great, great program, and it's a wealth of resources and knowledge just for any woman looking to start their own business. And we're lucky to have you and the organization.
Thank you.
Thank you
I'm
so much
lucky
for
to be
joining
here.
us.
Thank you.
Just to recap, what we did is there's 3 steps before you get to the microloan process. Is identify, is it just a hobby or a hustle? Is this my passion and I love doing it, and can I start it into a business? Then go through the logistics of actually starting up a business and do a lot of research, invest in yourself and your education, and never stop learning. And then the final and 3rd step is a launch. Once everything is all complete and you know you're ready to go, and you're ready to go on a larger scale, then you can go seek out more organizations like the Michigan Women's Foundation and look into a microloan process.
Please contact us at our website, miwf.org. You can also contact us on social media at Facebook or LinkedIn. In addition, you can give us a phone call, the old-fashioned phone call, 313-962-1920.